Hi, Phil here, Ed2Me. In this video, I want to look at subtraction of number, takeaway. In particular, I want to look at column subtraction. Subtraction, taking a smaller number away from a larger number. We're working at a level where you're going to need to be able to take away simple numbers mentally quite easily. So lots of work would have been done on subitizing. For example, being able to see numbers as dots or objects. Take 7 dots. Take away 4 dots, and you're left with 3. If your child's not yet confident with that, take a look at our subitizing video. Here's 7 take away 4 written as a number sentence. That's what teachers call a number sentence when it's written horizontally. Now, I've talked about being able to do this mentally quite easily. One way that you could do it to practice it is to draw a number line. And it's any length line as long as you divide it up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into 7 equal chunks. Label it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can jump back 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the answer is 3. There's another way that you could do it by actually counting on from 4. So you've got 4, how many do I need to get to 7? There's 4, you need 1, 2, 3. So the answer there is 3. Let's move that 7, take away 4, into a column so we can get our column subtraction started. We start to write it, the small number below the larger number. We draw a line so that we can get the answer below that. And I advise putting the sign, takeaway sign or minus sign, to the right so it leaves us room to visualize the expansion of the columns. And of course, this is the units column. 4 from 7, as we found out before, and I've said your mental arithmetic needs to be quite good, is 3. Let's make our column subtraction a little more difficult. Let's have a sum 27 take away 14. Notice that we now have a tens column. And also notice that we've got the smaller number below the larger number. So let's do the sum. 4 from 7 is 3. And then we move to the tens column, right to left. 1 from 2 is 1. The answer to 27 take away 14 is 13. Keeping our tens and units column, let's just make the sum a little more difficult. Take 37, take away 18. Like I said, move from right to left. So we start in the units column. 8 from 7, take it away. You can't do it, but you can do it. What you do is you go over to the tens column and you take 1 10 from the tens column. So 1 10 from 3, cross the 3 out, that leaves you 2 10s. Take that 10 that you've taken to the units column and that will make 17. Now you can take 8 from 17, will leave you 9. Move over to the tens column and you've got 1 from 2 and that leaves you 1. The answer to 37 take away 18 is 19. I want to point out at this stage that we call this form of column subtraction decomposition because we are regrouping the tens so that we can do the subtraction in the units column. Now, we call it exchanging tens and not borrowing tens. Borrowing came from an older way of doing column subtraction. And if you're old as me, you'll probably remember it. Let's take a look at it just for interest. We have the column subtraction 37, take away 18. Well, what we used to be taught is 8 from 7 you can't do. So borrow a 10. You borrow a 10, you now have 17. 8 from 17 is 9. And then we were told what you borrow, you return. So you return that 10 there and the bottom here so that you've got 2 tens, 1, 2. 2 from 3 is 1, and the answer is 19. This is rarely done in school now, but it's just there so that you can see for interest what we used to be taught. So let's move on. More difficult again, a larger number. 427, take away 218. All we're doing here is adding a hundreds column to keep the place value right. Now, place value is very important in column subtraction. If you're not quite clear about place value, we have got a place value video that you can have a look at. So let's do this sum. Once again, the smaller number is below the larger number, the takeaway sign's on the right, and we draw a line underneath the sum. So we start on the right with the units column, and we've got 8 from 7 we can't do. Well, we know we go across the 10 to exchange a 10. So we exchange that 10, leaving 1 10 there, and exchange it into the units column. Now we can do 8 from 17, which equals 9. Moving over to the left into the tens column, 1 from 1 is 0. Now into the hundreds column, 2 from 4 is 2. So, the answer to 427, take away 218, is 209. Of course, numbers can get bigger with subtraction, but that doesn't mean to say that the column subtraction will get more complicated. I'm sure you can see, you would simply, if it was a number with 1,000s, add 1,000 column. And remember, that's why I put the subtraction sign on the right, because that leaves that feeling of space for adding columns. But there is something a little tricky that I do want to cover with you before I go. What happens if you get this sum appearing? 407 take away 218. Well, obviously you'll start to have a go at it. Starting on the right from the units column, 8 from 7, you can't do. So the child will go across to the tens column, and this is where they can start to get confused. But it's not that difficult. There's nothing there. There's nothing in the tens column that you can exchange. But there is. There's actually 40 tens if you include the hundreds column. So 1 10 from the 40, cross it out, leaves 39. You've now got your 10 that you've exchanged and put it into the units column, so you can carry on. 8 from 17 is 9. Into the tens column, 1 from 9 is 8. And then the hundreds column, 2 from 3 is 1. Don't let your child start exchanging hundreds because there's nothing in the tens column, because it becomes a lot of crosses, and there's where the confusion starts. Just look at the hundreds and the tens column as one set of tens and take the 10 from that, and it'll save you a lot of confusion. This is quite a long session, but I wanted to cover all the hiccups that you might come across and show you the way teachers would deal with it. I hope this helps you and your child get to grips with this maths concept. If you've got any questions or comments, put them below, or if you want further help, look at the links that go with this video. Until next time, bye.